So, what else is happening in 1912? Well, just about 1 month before Titanic slipped below the surface of the world, a new ship launched in Germany. What was this ship called, you may ask? It's the Ss Imperator. The Ss Imperator surpassed the size of the Olympic-class liners and held the title of the world's biggest ocean liner. So how did this ship live out its days during its career? Well, besides it looking like an upscaled version of the Empress of Ireland, since its frontal fortune looks like the Empress, she was fitted with 3 funnels at first and a horrid and disgusting bronze figure in front of the ship, which is probably the most hated thing put on an ocean liner. From what I've heard, that bronze figure was there to increase the size of the ship. But let's be honest, nobody really liked that bronze eagle figure. The Imperator is known for its large sweeping rooms, but the ship is also known for its badly designed interiors or badly placed interiors, which cause stability issues that plagued the ship throughout its career. Just like me struggling to stand first thing in the morning. With this, the SS Imperator earned the name Ss Imperator since she always seemed to appear in an uneven angle. But I don't really like that name, so I like to call it Ss Improper. The bronze figure and the tall funnels also contributed to the listing of the ship. Her funnels were eventually shortened to help with the stability issues, and a cement ballast was in place to help stop the listing. But this did little to help the ship. Now less about the stability issue and more about its interior. It was described as being in Lusitania and Titanic at the same time. Now, you may not know this, but Imperator's interiors was partly inspired by Lusitania's interiors, such as the multi-deck dining saloon on Lusitania, and part of the ship was also inspired by Titanic's design, such as the swimming pool and the baths. As for the lifeboats, the embedded ones are a quick design choice to get more lifeboats on board, since 1 month before the launch, the great ocean liner Titanic sank below the waves, and the maritime law now demands all ships to have enough lifeboats for everyone, and a watertight skin that extends far above the waterline. This, of course, delayed the sea trials by at least a month or two, since it was a last-minute change. When her maiden voyage was about to start, it then got delayed by a fire on board, which killed at least 5 people or so. I think this ship is cursed. Anyways, her maiden voyage finally commenced at June 11, 1913. She carried a total of 3,100 passengers, which at the time had never been achieved for all I know. In many ways, Imperator was sort of ahead of its time, since it had everything that Titanic and Lusitania wished it had. Like it had a winter garden, and has a large smoking room, and a dining saloon. The first, second, and third class had more stuff going for them than Lusitania's and Titanic's classes. Imperator also boasted a fourth class or steerage, but from the limited stuff I know about steerage class from Imperator, I cannot confirm if their class had shared bedrooms or actually had rooms. But Franklin D. Roosevelt said that the steerage and firemen accommodations were quote-unquote excellent. I highly doubt that those accommodations were quote-unquote excellent. I'll just imagine that they were like horrible, for say. Anyway, so Imperator's hull was also somewhat half-baked idea, since it was too tall as well, and that also contributed to the listing. I mean, like, Jesus, if you're going to build a ship, build it good. Don't build a listing ship. This instability later bit the ship back in the butt when a fire suddenly ignited on board during her fourth voyage. This fire ignited deep in the ship, and if many of you know about ships that had caught on fire in the past, you probably know what'll happen. if this wasn't dealt with, especially on a ship as unstable as the Imperator. Luckily for the Imperator, she was saved by an officer on the bridge, which took out the fire, but at the same time the fire was gone, the ship was heavily listing to starboard since it was full of water. But thankfully, she didn't pull a Poseidon adventure on us. If you don't know what a Poseidon adventure on us means, it's technically capsizing and going upside down. Fast forwarding a bit, the bronze eagle on the bow was severely damaged by a huge wave which the ship rode over. The figure was later removed, never to be replaced again. Thank God. Then World War I started. Imperator was told not to leave the safety of her German port. When the war ended, Imperator was no longer safe and she was quickly taken over by the Americans. The British was like, "Yo, America, can we have that ship? We lost like dozens of ships during like the war, and I think it'll be like really fair for us to have the Imperator. And you know, we really need some ships." After some back and forth, Imperator was handed over to Cunard Line, who was like, "Bruh." When they saw how unstable Imperator was, Cunard removed several things from the ship to reduce the listing and nearly removed the third funnel, but luckily they didn't. The ship was soon renamed into RMS Berengaria. The ship, or RMS Berengaria, along with her sister ships, which you know soon will have their own upcoming video idea. Woo! Anyways, she spent her last years doing booze cruises. If you don't know what that means, it's technically like taking people who wants to drink beer out into open sea so the American prohibition won't affect them. Until the Great Depression hit, when Imperator was finally scrapped along with her sister ship, Vaterland. No, not Fatherland, it's Vaterland. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the ship, so you make up your mind. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun making this video. I know it's kind of a little bit shorter than my other documentaries, but this was handedly typed in and I fill in all of the jokes, and it's more like the style of my old videos. Anyways, so make sure you subscribe or whatever. I'm not forcing you, and I'll see you on the next one.